Everybody for attending. We'll call to this is our Planning Authority Committee meeting tonight, Monday 5th of June 2023, starting at 5:15. Thank you for the councillors that are here, and thank you for those in the public gallery and the staff. The attendees for the committee meeting from our council is myself, Deputy Mayor Shen, Councillor Ennis, Councillor Hollister, who is an apology tonight, Councillor Murphy and Councillor Viney are on that committee. Other councillors can ask questions as they go. Thank you. So yes, we have an apology from Councillor Hollister. So declarations of interest, do I have any please?
Yes you do, Mayor.
Councillor Murphy.
Agenda items 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 and 3.4. As I have previously stated at other council meetings, planning meetings, I am employed in the real estate industry in my professional capacity. I will be staying in the room. I'm not known to any of the components and have not previously been engaged by any of them in my capacity as a property consultant.
For all four, you're staying in the room?
All four, yes, Mayor, that's correct.
Thank you. Any others?
Yes, ma'am.
Councillor Viney?
Yeah, I have a declaration of interest for agenda 3.1.
Thank
One
you.
of the representation is an associate of mine, but I'll be staying in the room.
Staying in the room?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other declarations? No? Thank you. Moving on to the development reports, item 3. 3.1 is 2 Smith Street.
So moved.
Oh, thank you.
Second.
I have 2 Smith Street there, please. Very good. So Councillor Murphy, and a seconder, sorry, was?
Second here.
Thank you. Councillor Viney? Councillor Murphy?
Thank you, Mayor. We do have a recommendation there to support this application. I do note there has been a number of representations for this particular development. However, the proponent has been able to address all the performance criteria as advised by the Professional Planning Consultants here at Council, and see no reason as to why we would be in a position to reject it.
Thank you. Councillor Viney?
Thank you, Mayor. I concur with Councillor Murphy there. There was a couple of the representation concerns I thought was worth fleshing out a little bit. The heritage overlay, which was explained in the report that applies to the existing builds, and was not going to be the heritage area is not going to be detrimentally compromised by this new development. The other one I thought was worth mentioning is the height of this new build, that there was screening that will be applied on the balcony, both in the plans, and will be signed off prior to occupancy, which satisfies those planning constraints. So although I think we can all be sympathetic with some of that reasoning of the representations, I'm confident that the planning officers have done their due diligence on those issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment? Councillor Shen?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes,
Just make sure your light is on. Thank you.
yes, I'd just like to thank the proponent for the invitation to site last week to have a look at the proposed development site, and also note the representations that were very thoughtfully put together by people in the neighbourhood. I concur with the previous councillor's opinion that the issues raised have been dealt with by the planning officer. For me personally, I've noted that it's a battle axe block, and largely the heritage characteristics as they stand in that particular street should be maintained. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment, Councillor Ennis?
Thank you. I have a number of questions. There's a lot of representations from people around the area. One of the questions that I had, I'd just like a bit of confirmation on, the garage or outbuilding is quite large and it's sort of right on the fence. How does that fit within the envelope?
Thank you. Mr. Mountain, perhaps?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Thanks for your question, Councillor Ennis. So certainly if you're having a look on page 17 of your agenda, that will show the acceptable building envelope or what applies for an internal lot. Now, I guess under the planning scheme, there's certainly performance criteria to come outside that acceptable building envelope. There's a number of tests within that performance criteria that talks about overshadowing, visual bulk. In this case, being a 6 by 4 metre outbuilding, it was determined that was acceptable and could meet the performance criteria.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. And I have another one.
Yes, please.
Just, I looked and I couldn't see any sort of architect's impressions of the view or what it might look like from sort of outside. It's quite a big building, and what it would look like from, say, Smith Street or Brown.
For you, Mayor, certainly Council, we didn't receive that as part of the application documentation, but I didn't think it was necessary for us to make a decision. We had enough information to make a decision on the application based on what we had.
Thank you. Thank you. I just think probably for many people it'll be, if it gets passed, it'll be quite a change. It's a 2-storey building sort of in that area, and for most of us looking at our backyard, you get used to what you see, and it would be quite a, a change possibly. I think unfortunately we have to live with the changes at times, and whilst it is in some people's view an eyesore or whatever they might say, the other people see it as their house and they're happy with it, sort of. So it's a challenge. So sympathetic towards all those representatives.
Thank you. Further comment? No. If I may, through to Mr. Mountney, would you mind giving us a little bit of a rundown on the heritage overlay, how that really works in that area and what it means in layman's terms, I guess?
Yeah, not a problem for you, Madam Mayor. So certainly, I guess under our planning scheme, we've got what we call the local heritage code. So under the heritage code, there's a number of different mapped heritage precincts and also individual heritage listed properties. So in this case, the actual property itself in Smith Street falls within the Glenvale and Miller Street local heritage precinct. And then under that precinct, there's a number of tests in the planning scheme, which I guess the planning authority needs to take into account to determine if the development proposed is appropriate. And that's certainly being addressed in the report.
Thank you. And the shed or the outbuilding that Councillor Ennis made mention of, there's a bit more simple terms on why it's more allowed under discretionary reasoning from you.
Yeah, yep. So obviously it falls outside the acceptable envelopes. That's, I guess, the planning authority determining tonight, is that an acceptable, that shed falling outside the envelope. There's a number of tests which take into account, such as the overshadowing, visual bulk, being the dimensions and height. It's been assessed. I guess my assessment against the performance criteria has certainly got some merit to be approved.
Thank you. No problem at all. Councillor Murphy, if there's no further comments? No, Councillor Murphy to close, please.
Thank you, Mayor, and I welcome the comments that have been made. As I said in my opening statement, with this particular development, they have been able to meet the performance criteria, which is what we have to work under. So therefore, consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? So carried. Thank you very much. Item 3.2 is 101 Parker Street, Devonport. If I can have a mover, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. And a seconder. Councillor Sheen, thank you. Councillor Murphy?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Again, the advice is here to grant a permit with conditions. It's a reasonable size development, and there again was representations to it, and I can understand those as well. However, the conditions are fairly clear there for all to see.
Thank you. Councillor Sheen?
It's all in the report. Thank you. I concur with the planner's recommendation.
Thank you. Any further comment? Councillor Murphy, first, please.
Consider closing.
All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? So carried. Thank you. 3.3 is 16 Lawrence Drive, residential multiple dwellings, one additional unit. If I can have a move on the recommendation, please.
So moved.
Councillor Viney and Councillor Murphy. Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. No problem with the planning's report. I think all the necessary information is in there. That I will make note there is the one representation that was received, but again, this was covered off in the report.
Thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Obviously, Mayor, we will see a lot more of this come across the table with the current housing shortage that we see in the state. Again, sensible development and has the necessary applicable conditions.
Thank you. Any further comment? No. Councillor Viney, if you could close, please.
Consider it closed. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? So carried. Thank you.
Well, I know why you wouldn't let any of us people in before we came in here. I've never seen such a farcical thing in my life.
Thank you. We're very happy to talk to you at any time. We're very happy. We just can't in this forum.
I just do not believe it. Do not believe it. Heritage listings,
We didn't
forget about
realise
it.
it was so weird.
Absolutely.
And we have no voice for the heritage area.
We're happy to talk to you outside the forum here if you want. Thank you. 3.4, 39 Victoria Parade, Devonport, residential, the two multiple dwellings there. If I could have a mover, please.
So moved.
Councillor Murphy. And a seconder, please.
Second.
Councillor Viney, thank you. Councillor Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, it's all there in the report. Again, sensible and sympathetic to the area, and will only enhance that sort of particular area.
Thank you. Councillor Viney.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I will note again there was a representation mention of the building envelope and also potential issues with traffic created on that intersection. But again, I think this is all covered off pretty thoroughly in the planners report, so happy to support the motion.
Thank you. Any further comment? No. Councillor Viney. Councillor Murphy.
Yes, Mayor, consider it closed.
Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? So carried. Thank you. And that will be us now closing the planning meeting at 27 past. Thank you.